Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining the Levinson and Associates webinar training on this lovely Thursday afternoon. Actually, it's not too lovely here. It's raining, but we're okay. Thank God. In fact, it's funny. We were just talking before we went live on how we're all so lucky to be a part of this awesome insurance industry. Especially during a pandemic like what the whole, in fact, the whole world is going through right now with COVID-19. And, we were talking about disability sales and life insurance sales, and, our app count, our application count is higher than it's ever been. And what's happened, obviously it's a horrible situation for everyone in this country and outside of the country, but fortunately we're in a business where let's face it, a lot of families are sitting at home and they're at the dinner table, and no one has a choice to leave the house, so they're forced to spend time together, and they're thinking, well, what happens if mommy or daddy, whoever the breadwinner is, gets diagnosed with COVID and God forbid they don't make it? Are we going to be okay? Or, what happens if, mommy or daddy, whoever the breadwinner is, loses their job or can't work, or gets cancer or a critical illness, or whatever the case is? It's sparking conversation and awareness. So us and you all, as being part of this insurance industry, you need to be proactive right now and get the word out, get the message out. I always say this, like, if I was a retail insurance agent in South Florida, which is where I live, I would make sure that, when it came to insurance, that's disability coverage, critical illness, cancer, life insurance, annuities, that they all remember and know, hey, Bill Levinson's my insurance guru. He's my guy. He's the one that I go to, and I'm going to also send my friends, family, and network to Bill because he handles all the insurance for everyone in South Florida. You have to be known as that guy or girl as the go-to. So anyway, it's so important, especially at a time like this, because I promise you, policies are being sold right now. Okay, hopefully it's by you, but they are being sold today, because I'll tell you what, in fact, we had 3 of our agents were on our prior podcast pre-COVID-19. One was actually in the middle of it, and the other 2 were right before. And all 3 of them are telling me, and by the way, you can listen to them speak for an hour, but they're all 3 saying, Bill, I'm in a better place now as far as premium and commissions than I've ever been in my life. Okay. And, you can say, whoa, the 2 guys are younger. They're in their 30s and 40s. They know technology like the back of their hand. Yes, they do know technology, and they've been marketing and selling like this pre-COVID-19. But the 3rd guy is in his mid-70s, and he's doing better than ever. Okay. And let me tell you, and you can listen to his podcast, it's with Wally. He has been marketing on social media, right, and had his website up and running Facebook ads even before all this started. And what that was able to do was allowed him to keep selling. In fact, even increasing his numbers through all of this, through the last it's been 3 months now. So anyway, just remember these lessons and be proactive moving forward. Let's not forget this time. Okay, and I know us as an IMO, as a very professional, successful organization, I'm going to remember this. I feel like we were proactive and we took the right steps even before this ever happened. I've been preaching, e-apps and drop tickets and marketing online, for years and years. In fact, we were the first organization to roll out an e-application with iPipeline and Amplify before agents knew how to spell e-application. Okay, so. But with that said, there's still things that I would have and could have done a little bit differently. So I need to learn from this, and so does everyone on this call, okay? Okay, enough of my ranting. So today, we're going to dive into some awesome disability products. We're going to touch on an awesome return of premium term product, okay? It's very rare in the industry today, and in fact, we're going to go over the top ROP product today. We have Jeff joining us from Illinois Mutual, and they have some awesome technology for selling online, selling over the phone with e-applications, one of the best DI products. We're going to, like I said, talk about that ROP term product. what I love about Jeff and his company is they have a very old school approach when it comes to customer service and servicing agents. Yes, you can still call in. Yes, they treat you like you're a one-of-a-kind VIP superstar. And yes, you can speak to almost anyone at the home office. In fact, they encourage that. And Jeff is also available to jump on the phone anytime. So I love that old school approach with, of course, the new school technology and products, okay? That combination is the ultimate 1-2 punch, in my opinion, and that's why we wanted Jeff to join us today and go over a quick 30-minute training with our agents to make sure that everybody's comfortable and walks away with a few nuggets that will help change your practice for the better. I think that's the goal. Okay, of course, we're going to do our webinar question of the day, so make sure you're paying attention because I'm going to ask a question when we're done, and whoever answers first and correctly wins the new Fire tablet, so you can write some of these e-applications and drop tickets right from your own tablet over the phone. So we'll go over that at the end, and of course, write down some notes, comments, questions. We want to hear from you. Plus, I want to make sure that when I go over the answer to that question, that you are the one that wins the tablet. So make sure you're paying attention. There's a question box on the right-hand side. You can type in there as we go. Joe's going to do his best to answer as many questions as possible. If not, we will get to you as soon as we are finished. Everyone on the call will also get a thank you email by the time we are done. In the thank you email, we'll include licensing for Illinois Mutual. We'll also include brochures. We have a DI buyer's guide we'll include. Basically, everything we're going over today will be in that email. If you do not receive it by the end of the business day, let us know, call or email me, and that means we have your wrong email address or the email sitting in your junk folder. So make sure to keep your eyes glued on the thank you email, which, by the way, comes out after every single webinar that we host. Okay, let's move forward here. So what I want to touch on real quick is the Bill Levinson Experience podcast, which is blowing up. We were just rated like number 121 in the country. 121 doesn't sound like a big deal, but when you're looking at thousands and thousands and thousands of business podcasts, that's a huge deal. So I'm very proud of that, and I wouldn't have been able to do this without all of these guest speakers that you're looking at in front of you. We have some top MDRT Levinson agents that you're staring at. We have the Gary Vaynerchuk. He's the social media guru. You got to check out some of these episodes. We have Bill Atlee. He's the founder of iPipeline. Paul Feldman, founder, CEO of Insurance Newsnet Magazine. Jorge Solar, he's the home run king. In fact, the American League home run record holder for last year's season. He plays for the Kansas City Royals now. You talk about a great, inspiring, motivational story. You've got to check that episode out. Okay, the reason why I wanted to bring up this slide is actually, you're going to see today, I just recorded the last episode yesterday with Ken, who is the CEO from a company called Snoozy, and we talk all about social media marketing, driving traffic to your website, Facebook ads. Him and his company are rock stars when it comes to marketing online for insurance agents. So you're going to see that episode come out today. I can't encourage you enough to spend 45 minutes and listen in, because you're going to learn a lot when it comes to marketing online in 2020. Also, we have some cool new packages that we now offer exclusively with Ken, where you can get a discounted price. In fact, it's like 99 bucks a month. You get a free WordPress website. You get all the social media marketing included. They'll post for you 5 days a week. They basically do every single thing for you and your business. Very, very inexpensive. He even has a Facebook ads coaching session, so you can run your own ads. And I'm telling you guys right now, as far as bang for the buck marketing and advertising, okay, at least in 2020, there is nothing better than running an ad on Facebook, okay? You literally, for a couple $100 a month, you can run your ads and pick the demographics. And I just saw one the other day from one of our agents, and he basically talks about why living benefits are so important. In fact, disability insurance happens to be a living benefit, but he spends like 2 minutes talking about living benefits, how it's the new type of life insurance that pays while you're still alive, okay? And he uses the term GoFundMe, okay? And just think about this spin. Instead of asking other people for money, why not protect yourself and your family with a living benefits policy? It's really, really interesting. But the point I'm trying to make is you all can create your own video with your spouse holding your smartphone, and you can talk about why disability insurance is so important. Give some real life example stories. Okay, you can talk about how return of premium term insurance is the only free way to get a term policy, right, without it costing you a penny. So anyway, there's different hooks, and I feel like if you're good on camera, even if you're not so good on camera, if you get the message out and you're sincere, I feel like this will bring you back like 10 times return on your money, at least, at the minimum. You sell one policy from this, okay? You can pay for 10 more ads. I mean, the numbers are crazy, and I know for a fact, because we're doing this right now. Levinson and Associates, we have our own Facebook ads running for our Insure Me Now Direct platform. And I'll tell you what, Joe's on the phone with us. Joe, tell everyone how many leads we're getting a day. These are for agent leads. How many leads are we getting a day right now?
Yeah, between probably 18 and 25.
So think about that, 18 to 25 agent leads a day on a $400 a month investment, okay? Now, remember this when you're thinking about this. Think about the Facebook member pool. So everybody that's on Facebook, think about the size of that pool. It's huge, ginormous, okay? That pool is the retail prospecting pool for you all. Okay, now look at the size of our pool, okay? Our pool is only insurance agents. Now think about a little drop of water compared to an Olympic-sized swimming pool, okay? That's the difference when it comes to us marketing on Facebook and you marketing on Facebook. And if we're getting 18 to 20, 25 leads a day and our investment is $400 a month, imagine what you can do at even $200 a month, okay? And remember the size difference of the pools. So anyway, I cannot stress it enough. Obviously, it's not like we're part owner in Facebook. We don't make any money on you running your Facebook ads, but I want you all to be successful because it's no secret when you win, we win, right? It's not rocket science. So we obviously put all this stuff together for you to get the word out there and make sales, because if you don't make sales, we don't make anything, and the carriers don't make anything. So we're all in this together. In fact, I even have some Gary Vaynerchuk videos. I did a 1-hour sit down with him, and what we did is we picked 3 2-minute videos that me and Gary speak about how important it is for an insurance agent to market on social media and run these social media ads, and it's not difficult. Ken charges $75 for a 30-minute coaching session. He records it and then sends it to you so you can go listen to it over and over and over again until you're comfortable. So there's no excuse. It's up to you now to put your right foot forward, jump in, and give it a shot. That's the only way you're going to learn. There's no more excuses, okay? And we put all the content out there for you to learn. It's already done. It's laid out in front of you, okay? Now's the time. Okay, I get a little excited when it comes to this, but I just can't stress it enough because I know the agents that are doing it are crushing it, and most agents are not doing it, and they're scratching their head saying, you know, I wish I can talk to one of your top agents so I can see what they're doing. I just shared it with you, okay? So now everybody's in the loop. Okay, disability resources. We have a section on our website just for DI sales, okay? Very, very easy. If you go to our website, hover over disability income, everything is broken out in front of you. We have built-in marketing pieces. We have a library. You can co-brand, you can e-blast, you can send out mailers, whatever you want to do. We have everything that allows you to spark the client's interest in a conversation, to ask the question, hey, am I covered, or how do I get covered, okay? All right, let's move forward here. This is pretty cool. So we have a disability income seller's guide that we're going to include in today's thank you email. It's also on the disability section of our site. We have a quote request form. You can go in if you need any quotes ran, or of course, call our marketing department anytime. Everybody is here and equipped to make sure that our agents have all of the most competitive quotes, brochures, marketing pieces, everything that you need, okay? We make it as easy as possible for you. This is also located on the Levinson mobile app, which, by the way, everybody needs to have the Levinson app downloaded on their smartphone or tablet. It's free, okay? And everything that you would ever need to make a sale is right from your smartphone, updated in real time. You can even check on a pending case right from your smartphone through the Levinson app. Okay, let's move forward here. We're going to dive into today's feature presentation with Mr. Jeff Wilson. He's got a great story to tell and some great training to come. Jeff, you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Bill. That was a heck of a warm up. And we were just talking earlier today about how the paradigm has certainly changed in the way people do business these days, as opposed to just a few months ago. And obviously, everything is really pushed hard towards the technology side of the business. And I can't think of anybody, any group, organization in this business, coast to coast, has already been better equipped to handle that as you guys, Bill. So kudos to you guys for getting out ahead of the curve on the technology front. And that's also focused us a little tighter too on creating technology solutions, which we're going to talk about in a second. But what I want to do now is just kind of do a high level kind of snapshot of where we fit in the marketplace. There's tons of room for DI in our world, which we consider the middle market. And we too have found that activity level, app level, interests, questions have skyrocketed since COVID-19. So, a little bit of a silver lining there. Have we ever wished that this would be here? Absolutely not, but it is. And like Bill said, now's taking the time to take advantage of it. And disability insurance is all of a sudden become vogue. So we go through here today. If you have any questions, shoot them out, and I'll be happy to get back to you, or Joe will filter those to me. But real quickly, snapshot who we are. If you're not aware of Illinois Mutual, they're based out of Peoria, a true mutual company. We've got the strongest financial position, or in the strongest financial position we've been in the history of the company. So we're doing exceptionally well. At the end of the day, we never want you to feel embarrassed or ashamed to represent our company, because at the end of the day, it's your reputation with your clients, and we're going to work hard to keep that stellar with you and also with your clients. Bill mentioned we're a small company. We are. We have just shy of 200 employees in the whole company. And that's a good thing, because if you call in and you did not know that, you would think we had thousands, because we are that attentive to what's going on. So, and everybody knows what we do within the organization and who drives the show there. So it's a great company. We pride ourselves on service, both to agents and to policy owners, and we stand behind that. Okay. So real quickly, I like this visual here because it really kind of paints a picture of where the market is in our world. Above the waterline, we know that everybody can see that. That is typically the doctor market, the CEO market, the high wage earner market. There are great companies out there that focus very myopically on those markets. That's not necessarily us. We're below the waterline, if you will, and that's not a bad thing. That's middle America. That's who really needs, at the end of the day, paycheck protection. It's people who can't afford to go 6 months, 9 months without some type of income coming in to pay those bills. So the opportunity is vast underneath the waterline, and that's where we position ourselves and have for over 110 years. Okay. Doesn't mean that this is only blue collar. It is certainly not. It is more based on income that we're going to take a look at in a second. So if you don't take away anything other than this today, that would be fantastic. What I want to convey here is the DNA of Illinois Mutual, the core of the company, has always been blue collar. People who get their hands dirty every day. And we know these people, right? They work hard. They need their paycheck. Not a lot of companies out there will insure those types of occupations. That has always been our blueprint, if you will. But we're actually more than that. So we are very competitive even in some of the white collar occupations. And that's what I wanted you to glean off of this. So rather than think of Illinois Mutual's DI product as just blue collar, think of it in terms of income, okay? 80% of our policy owners make $150,000 or less. That could be a single wage earner or it could be a family. That's a chunk of change. And that spans all types of occupations, okay? So if you're talking to a client about a DI solution, paycheck protection solution, no matter what they do for a living, I bet we could come up with 2 or 3 competitive solutions, and especially in that blue collar market, because a lot of companies shy away from that type of risk. All right, real quickly, very simple portfolio, 2 products, individual coverage, whether you're a W-2 employee or a 1099, does not matter. We're protecting income that that person earns. The other side of the coin, which was a fast growing market for us until COVID-19, then it kind of plateaued out, but I think we'll see this revived when this is all settled, and that's the business owner market. We have a great product that covers expenses for the small business owner. And when I say that, I mean typically in the whole organization is 1 to 5 people. So it's not a multi-layered, management-heavy type organization. And it could be anything. And I always use this as 2 extreme examples, okay? Down in Hilton Head, or for you guys, up in Hilton Head, I helped this agent work a case with an attorney. And it's one of those attorneys everybody knows. They got tired of working 100 hours a week and, giving all their money to the partners. So they spun off and, bought the house on Main Street and refurbished it and hung their shingle out. All of a sudden, the owner, who's the attorney, is the sole breadwinner for that company and drives the business there. So he understood immediately that if he could not come in, work his caseload, get new clients, et cetera, that business would be in jeopardy. And he had 2 people in the firm as well. He had an assistant and a paralegal. So we put a business over expense policy that covered the salaries of those 2 employees and certain business expenses related to the business, such as the mortgage on the place and utilities and things like that. So that was a perfect fit for business overhead expense, okay? The other end of the spectrum is I live in Asheville, North Carolina. I know a lot of you guys know where that is, but it's a very entrepreneurial small business town. And one of the growing, segments of the business up here is food trucks. So these food trucks go park outside a lot of our bars and restaurants and things like that, and they serve whatever food they serve. So go get a pint of beer and go out and get a slice of pizza. That's a small business owner, okay? Obviously, totally on the opposite end of the spectrum as the attorney, but they have the same type expenses, okay? And I don't know anybody in the industry that would insure that type of owner with a business over expense policy. So that is 2 examples, and then there's everything in between. So the point being is that's a great product, no matter what the occupation is. If you're a small business owner, you need to talk to them about business over expense coverage. All right, so what do we sell the most of? We've got 14 different riders, but these are my 2 favorite. If you've heard me speak before, you know I love the return of premium. It's a great way. It's a game changer. It really is. It's a great way for the client to get the money back if they don't use it. But if the coverage is there, they can use the policy, right? And it's available on both the individual and the business overhead expense policies. And Bill mentioned earlier, we've got this on our term product as well, and we're going to touch base on that in a second. But that is our favorite. That is our -- sold rider, by the way, year in and year out. And this is a staggering number here. 46% of all of our in-force cases have return of premium on it. Okay. So people get it. They understand the end game is, hey, if I never use this product, I'll get all my money back. Yes, it's going to cost me a few extra bucks up front, but if it's affordable from a budget standpoint, then why wouldn't you do it? So the agents who sell more return of premium than anybody else, they always use this as a, oh, by the way, let me show you a way to get all your money back. So let the client be the decider, decision maker of whether the extra premium for this rider is affordable. Okay, and then let them decide. The other one is, this is my first favorite, is activities of daily living. This functions like a long-term care policy, but it's not. So it's not a substitute for long-term care. But the way it's set up, the triggers are, if the client cannot perform 2 of the 6 ADLs, then there's an added benefit that's paid to the policy owner. Okay, and it's uber cheap. I mean, very, very inexpensive to bump up the benefit amount that's eligible to the client. Okay, and the way it's set up is the ratio is 2 times the base. So you can pretty much get, in most situations, 100% of someone's income covered, which is a stumbling block sometimes with a DI policy, because typically insurance companies will not insure more than 65% of someone's income. So you've got that hurdle to overcome. But with the ADL rider, you can potentially get up to 100% covered. Okay, I love this because, simply put, if I'm disabled enough to file a claim on my individual DI policy, the likelihood of me not being able to perform 2 of the 6 ADLs is probably pretty high. So I'm going to hedge my bet, and for a very nominal cost, I'm going to add on this rider here so that if I can't do 2 of the 6 ADLs, I've got more benefit coming in. Okay, and then that last bullet point, it's kind of neat in that, let's just say you've got a 90-day elimination waiting period on your base policy, and you've got this ADL rider on it. If the doctor says Jeff's toast, he can't do 2 of the 6 ADLs on day 1, then the rider benefit begins to pay immediately. So you do not have to wait that 90 days. So I think that's an awesome benefit, and it's very, very inexpensive. So if you reach out to us and ask for a quote, help with a quote, then chances are, if you get me, I'm going to add this ADL rider on there. So that's 2 of my favorite, 2 of our top ones. Like I said, we've got 14 others. So the product is very customizable, and I always say that it's a la carte. Our base policy is very strong, and in most situations, you don't need additional riders, or there's budgetary issues, and the client can't afford to pay additional riders. So it's strong on its own. But we've got these other riders that will allow you to customize what you need, what the client needs. Okay. I thought I've never shown this before, but I think it really kind of summarizes or gives you a visual of where we sell the most of and what's the averages. So the average policy age is 38. The minimum premium, and this varies by geography basically, but it's a little over $900 a year. This is a yearly premium. So we're not talking about huge benefits here, but the average benefit is about $2,500. We'll go up to $10,000 a month on the BOE or the individual. Okay, so we have some range here, but our average benefit is a little over $2,500. We sell more 90-day elimination policies than anything, and I think that's driven primarily by budget, because the 90-day elimination is going to be less expensive than 30, but we really advocate to look at a 30-day elimination, because that gets the funds into the policy owner's pockets faster than a 90, as we know. Okay, so if the client can't afford to wait 90, 120 days for any income to come in, you got to put that or use that 30-day policy so that they can get money faster. And then the benefit information, the link, 2 years and to age 67 are neck and neck. Obviously, there's a price differential between those two. At the minimum, 2 years is a great contingency plan. 30-day 2-year plan is an awesome layout for you. If the client wants the Cadillac version, to age 67 will pay the benefit all the way to that. So you have some range here, but I kind of like how it's split evenly there. There's a riders there. I got those wrong. The ROP is 1, GIO is 2, and then there's my favorite there, the ADL. Now, if you know kind of how the DI world works, there are 5 classes. If class 1 is your most risky occupations, those would be, I don't know, firemen, policemen, heavy labor-intensive occupations, all the way up to class 5, which are your professionals, managers, things along that, white collar, right? So I kind of like the spread here because this shows us that we are not focused or drilled down on the one class. Okay, so we, again, to help support what I said earlier, it's not necessarily the color code of what they do for a living, it's more income focused. So we sell more class 5, which are the white collar professional than anything, right? And then the 20%, there's your business owners right there. So again, the whole point, not to be a broken record here, but don't pay attention to what they do for a living, kind of judge it based on income and how much benefit that they need. All right, so industry, health services, special trade contractors, businesses, that's our top. On the right hand side, my right, the top policy owner duties. There you go, business owners are sweet spot for us. Registered nurses, dietitians, therapists, hygienists. This is a largely underserved market, and we're really starting to gain a lot of traction in that because some companies have actually exited those types of occupations. They're, believe it or not, they're pretty high risk, and they don't want to take on that risk, but we will. Okay, so just thought I'd share that with you. And again, they're all over the board. They're blue, white, and gray. So we're not really focused in on one type of occupation or one color code, if you will. All right, so we've got some great pieces that it depending on how you market yourself, that these pieces are customizable in a lot of ways, but these are really focused in on occupations such as plumbers and mechanics and farmers and truck. I get a lot of interest in truck drivers, and I tell you why, if you haven't thought about that, if you work with someone or know someone who drives a truck, those big 18-wheel trucks with the cabs and all that stuff, those things are expensive. So a solution is to put a business overhead expense policy on the note that's associated with that truck, and that could be pretty hefty. So the last thing the truck driver wants to do is have to give up his truck if he can't work. So we want to make sure the truck's there, sitting in the driveway, so when they can go back to work, they have a tool to work with. Okay, so it's kind of a unique little market for us there, but we get a lot of interest in that type of occupation. All right, so fact finders, I'm a huge fan. I think they're fantastic. This is our #1 ordered piece from our whole library of material. And I think it really serves the purpose of driving the conversation about what a DI policy is about down to the basic expenses, okay? And a lot of times you really need to do that, especially with someone who is very budget focused. Okay, so here's a great way to do it. I've seen this used in a lot of different ways. One of the best that I like is a transition piece. Let's say you're doing a life insurance review with your client, and you get back together with the client and you say, hey, Jane, your life insurance portfolio looks pretty good right now based on where you are. I don't recommend any changes. However, we need to take 5 more minutes and talk about protecting your paycheck. Okay, that's a nice smooth transition into disability insurance. Now, if she's attentive and wants to know more, she may say, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, you need to make sure that you're covered to pay your bills in case you can't work and draw a paycheck. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. So you can use this as a worksheet. And this really helps focus in on 3 basic expenses: mortgage or rent, utilities, and groceries. So this is a great starting point to work up some quotes. This is our, like I said, this is our #1 order piece there. This is the same type thing, but it's focused in on the business owner. I like this piece, and it's more detailed, obviously, than the mug piece, but it lists everything that we can cover in a business overhead expense policy. Okay, that's great in my opinion, because if someone says, well, I don't know, will you cover postage? Rather than saying, oh, I need to pull out my manual and look, it's here. Yes, we can. So I like to use this as a position piece to say, obviously you're not going to have every single one of these expenses, or if you do, it's probably going to be prohibitive for us to cover them all. So let's top 2 or 3 or 4 that if you couldn't come to work and you had your own business, what do you want to make sure we cover so that when you get back to work, everything's still there? Such as like the attorney down in Hilton Head, lease, utilities, employee salaries. That was what was on his mind. So you can use this tool, again, to focus in the conversation on relevant expenses for the business overhead expense policy. Okay. All right. Underwriting, let's talk about that real quick. And this is more relevant than anything these days. It's tough to still get exams set up, to go visit clients, clients allowing people into their homes for exams, things along that line. So we've had this program for a long time. It's called our non-med program. So basically how it works is if the benefit amount that the applicant is applying for is less than $3,000 a month, it falls into this non-med category, which means you still take the application, and if it's clean, then we don't push into these other categories. So there's no blood, urinalysis, paramed, blah, blah, blah. So this is a great way to make the process easier for you, but also for the client. Now, how we've kind of approached this is, especially now, is if you apply for a policy, let's say the client's applying for $5,000 a month, right? Obviously, there's more detailed underwriting that's going to have to take place with a $5,000 benefit policy. So we'll reach out to you and say, hey, look, I know you applied for this $5,000 policy. What about this? What if we cut that down to $3,000 a month so it falls into this non-med category and hopefully eliminates all this other stuff that we've got to do? And then when everything settles down and everything's back to whatever we think the new norm is going to be, then we can go back and pick up that extra $2,000 so that they'll have $5,000 as a whole, right? So we're trying to help out in that respect. Now, I've seen it work both ways. I've seen the agent go back to the client, come back to us and say, yeah, that's fantastic. Drop it down to $3,000, then we'll deal with the other two, when we get down the road. But then we've also had the agent that says, nope, client needs $5,000. They know they're going to have to do the physicals and all that stuff. Let's just apply for that. Okay. So we want to give you some options here and give the client some options, right? So, but regardless, we've always had this non-med policy here and non-med parameters. And you really don't have to make any special notations or let Joe or his team, Bill's team know. We underwrite to these standards when it comes in. Okay. But just wanted to share that with you and kind of how we're approaching that. And speaking of COVID-19, everybody's kind of trying to do their best with that. All the carriers, this is a brand new thing for us, right? So the first bullet point, what we were just talking about, that's over $3,000, we may come back out to you and say, hey, is it allowable for us to just underwrite it at 3? Then we'll come back later and pick up the additional coverage. The second bullet point, in a normal world, we would only take exams or blood work that was fresher than 6 months, okay? We pushed that back out or expanded that to 12 months. So if you have a policy owner, a client, and they're applying for us and they've also applied or bought something that's 11 months old and we can get our hands on the exams and stuff, then that's cool, we'll take it, okay? And then the last one is different for us as well. We've changed our standards as it results or has to deal with people who got laid off, furloughed or something because of all this. In the past, we would have said, hey, if someone's out of work and they come back to work, they have to wait 6 months before they can apply for a DI policy, right? Well, we've wiped that out and basically say if someone is laid off, they come back to work, and they still want to apply for DI policy, we'll take them day one. So they don't have to wait 6 months before they apply. Okay, so this is just some of the ways that we're trying to help, trying to ease the pain, if you will, of what's going on now. All right, just to wrap it up real quick, we always do quarterly bonuses here, and it's based off of production. So you can get up to $900 of extra cash in your pocket for 4 paid apps in a quarter. Okay, so this is point to point. Starts at day one of the quarter and ends at the last day, and then it repeats itself. Okay, so keep that in mind. We'll reach out and make sure if you're close that you pay special attention to this. This is new with us, and this was it was on the back burner to complete, but once COVID-19 really created issues as far as site to site personal visits, we put the accelerator down and got this taken care of, which is really cool. And this is new for us, but I think it will pay benefits in the long run. We will do e-policy delivery now, okay? Either to the policy owner, to the agent, or to the general agency. You just tell us what you want us, how you want us to route the policy. So instead of having it sent to Bill, and then Bill sends it to the agent, and the agent sends it to the policy owner, we can route it straight to the policy owner if everybody's cool with that. Okay, so keep that in mind. And this is not just a temporary thing. This is in place from now on. All right, this is something new that I really like. I think Bill hinted something about another program that you guys have, but this is brand new. Again, it was on the back burner, but we thought it important enough to pull it up to the front burner and get it rolling. We want you guys to buy your own policies, to own your own policies, if that's what you want. So we put this little program together. If you buy your own, it counts toward all of our incentives. Obviously, there's a small discount of 5%. But I think what's relevant here, what's really cool here, if you have an agent who's just starting out, if you're just getting rolling, we know, we all of us that's ever been there know the income's tight. You know, you may not be able to afford a DI policy, right? You got to look at other things. So we're offering the starter policy where you can get up to $1,000 a monthly benefit with a 2-year benefit period and use any elimination period, and there's no financial requirements at all. So we're not going to look at anything that you make. We don't care. We want you to own your own policy and experience what it's like to have that. Okay, so just if you think about that through, if you want your DI policy to be free and your premium is $50 a month, just focus on going and selling 1 or 2 additional DI policies where your commission equals $50 a month or more, and bingo, you've got your own policy covered. Okay, so and then add your return of premium, which is my favorite. You get 100% of your premiums back. Okay, so this is just a cool little. You'll see more of this as it's being developed, but I wanted to get that out there so you can think about it as well. So let me, before I go here, Bill asked me and Joe asked me to talk about the return of premium term. I think that's a fantastic product, and we've got several options here. The shortest term is 20 years, but we'll do a 20 or 30 into age 65 term product. Okay, so you have some opportunities here. The lowest face amount is $50,000. The highest is $500,000. Okay, so here's just food for thought. How I see this is maybe a potential solution. Let's just say you've got a client who owns a landscape business, and things are going awesome, and they need to go out and buy, $300,000 worth of new lawn equipment. And so they go to the bank. The bank says, "Cool, you got great credit. It's all nice, but we're gonna need you to secure that $300,000 with insurance." Okay, it happens all the time, right? So you grumble. The owner grumbles, "Oh, I'm gonna have to buy term insurance on this, and I'm not getting anything out of it." Well, why not structure it to cover that loan with our term with a return of premium, right? So let's say it's a 30-year note, put a 30-year term on there. You pay the term premium. At the end of the 30 years, the note's paid off, and then here you sit with a return of premium term where you can cash it in, or you can roll it to our whole life policy. So so you have options. I think that's a heck of a quick concept to use the return of premium term. Okay, and you couple that with our return of premium DI. I mean, I can think of all kinds of cool ways to use that. But I wanted to throw that out there. We'll get back with you with more interest or more information on the return of premium term. But just know we're one of the few companies left out there, if there is it, that has a return of premium term. Okay, and then obviously last year, DI support sales team, they do a heck of a job there. They've been partners with us for a long, long time. We really appreciate it. They run a class operation. You guys know that if you deal with them. I'm always available, and Karen is always available. We handle the East Coast, and if you need us, Joe can get you in touch with us. So, guys, that's all I have. If there's anything you want me to add or provide more detail on, just let me know.
Oh, that was great, Jeff. We appreciate it. Some great incentives there too. In fact, we're going to add those to our site. That was awesome. So what we're going to do is we'll include some of these concepts, brochures, platforms in the thank you email. So again, keep your eyes posted for that. Jeff, thanks again. What I want to do now is shift gears for a second and jump into some other resources that are available to you in the DI space. I think it's very important, and we are going to wrap up. We'll be done in about less than 10 minutes here, so right before 3 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so take note real quick. These are all of our direct IMO contracts in the DI space. Very, very important. Each carrier and product kind of has their own little niche in the space. We try not to have too much overlapping going on, as you can see. So on the left side, real quick, we have Assurity in the impaired risk substandard space. We also have a niche product from FSL and Lloyd's that's basically for the certain white collar career individual, where we can cover up to $13,000 a benefit per month. So very niche. We also have a guaranteed issue product, which is very, very rare in the space. It's available on the direct to consumer Insure Me Now direct site. Or of course you can sell it face to face, over the phone, through the app, whatever you prefer. So on the left side, that's our impaired risk. If you move over to the right side there, we're going to go one column over, is the blue collar middle America space. We have Illinois Mutual as the leader, Assurity and Mutual of Omaha. Also, every green asterisk, you can sell 100% over the phone and virtually using an e-app or drop ticket. Okay, so that's another note that I would add. Moving over one more column, we have Principal, Mass, and Guardian in the true standalone white collar space. Also included in there is physicians, anyone in the medical field. Moving over one more column, that's 100% direct to consumer. So yes, we have SureBridge, guaranteed issue, and then we have a simplified issue product up to $2,500. But that's important to note because you can literally drive these clients or traffic to your site, okay? They can run a quote, sign up online, get approved, print their policy, they're done. You just made a commission plus renewals. SureBridge is the only carrier that has straight up guaranteed issue direct to consumer. So up to $500 a month guaranteed issue, $2,500 a month simplified issue, all from SureBridge direct to consumer, D2C, we call it. Okay, bottom right corner there is life insurance with living benefits, including DI built in. We have some really neat products from Assurity, Mutual of Omaha, Foresters, Transamerica, Life of the Southwest, and about 7 others. So if that comes up, we definitely have a need. We can run some quotes for you. I would be marketing this all over the place. Okay, like I told you about in the beginning, that young agent, he's probably in his low 30s, put together that 2-minute Facebook video. He's blasting it all over the place, and he's driving a ton of traffic and leads and making a ton of sales. So start to get creative. Use some of these ideas and put your first video together and get it out there. I can't stress it enough. Give it a shot. I'm telling you, it's going to work out. I promise you. Okay, I've seen it happen with us. I've seen it happen with several successful agents that are not afraid to take the first step. So please Okay, Joe's going to show you how to dive into our database. We have a prospecting list, millions and millions of prospects that you can tap into and spread the word. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So what you're looking at is actually part of the Agency Automator CRM platform. Great tool to kind of help you track all of your clients, prospects, and kind of upcoming leads that you need to pay attention to that can really open some new sales opportunities. The specific part of Agency Automator that I want to show you is the prospecting databases. We've got two databases in the system. One is a consumer database, just over 28 million records. The other is a business database, just over 6.7 million records. And the way that this works is you can actually plug in very specific client demographics. You can sort by zip code. You can do a certain mile range. So for example, if you wanted to look at people within a 25-mile radius of your office, your hometown, you can also sort by, if it's a business, the number of employees, the type of revenue they have, even the type of business it is. So if you're looking at, for example, Jeff talked about that attorney, you can look at if someone's an attorney, you can get a listing of them, number of years in the business, their annual revenue. If you want to go after orthodontist or dentist or any other type of business, you can do that through the system. You can even sort, by revenue and by number of employees, which I think is great. So I use an example specifically for attorneys that have been in business for 2 or less years. And I did a 25-mile radius of the office here just to give an example, and I got 574 results, which I think is great. It'll actually provide you their name, phone number, it'll give you their telephone number, all the information you need to be able to start marketing to those potential prospects. There's even some built-in email marketing campaigns. We've got about over 2,000 different templates you can use, and it's not just one email one time, it's multiple drip email campaigns. So what's really neat is you can do kind of a very reactive, responsive type of email campaign where if someone gets an email and they open it, then the following week they get a different email, and it will drip market on them for up to 5 different touches before you have to reset it. So it really is kind of a set it and forget it type of email style campaign. And of course, you get notified every single time someone opens up that email, so you can actually track their name, phone number, contact information, and give them a call and say, hey, I saw you opened up my email. You might be interested in some of the disability products. It really, really helps you generate some additional leads. And speaking of leads, we have an awesome microsite called LevinsonLeadProgram.com. This is everything you need to know about all the different lead programs that we have, not just the live transfer leads and the direct mail lead campaigns, also the social media lead campaigns, looking at social media costs. Like Bill said earlier, it is going to be the least expensive way to generate some new activity. We even have orphan policyholder lead programs and some really great lead generating ideas. So you can actually click and see what other agents are doing to actually generate some additional leads. There's some really great stuff here. It might seem kind of basic, but this is how a lot of our agents and general agencies have built their practice over the years. So definitely check that out, LevinsonLeadProgram.com, everything having to do with all the lead programs in one simple spot. So definitely check that out. It will be included in the thank you email that we send out this afternoon as well. Also, real quick before I hand it back to Bill here, some breaking news. We've had a lot of emails come out, that Phoenix is actually discontinuing, Nassau Re discontinuing the life products at the end of June. So please be aware if you have any pending business there, we've got to get that closed out. But I want to bring up a great alternative, which is Emeritus Life. Nassau was known for their living benefit products. Emeritus is a great option. Simplified issue up to $1 million of death benefit. We've got 18 living benefit triggers, A-rated carrier, very, very competitive, awesome commission. So when you run your next term rates, you may still see some of those Nassau products pop up, but look to Emeritus as a great alternative for those living benefit products. Another great solution would be AIG, even LSW. We've got some awesome non-med programs now that go all the way up to $3, $4, $5 million of benefit without a paramed exam. So all those are super competitive, especially at those non-med type breakpoints that you're looking at. Also,
okay,
real quick here. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Bill.
No, it's okay. Finish up, and then we'll do the giveaway.
Yep. So I mentioned Agency Automator CRM. It's very important when you dive into that program to do all the required training links. We have training every single day at 2 p.m. You'll see the schedule right in front of you. You can log in, ask questions. It's all done in real time. And then also Legacy Armor training. That's an awesome platform that is part of our Insure Me Now Direct platform. Think of like an online safety deposit box where all your clients' information is stored online. And then upon their passing, the beneficiaries are automatically notified. So great tool to kind of uncover new life sales. Real quickly here, next week, Monday, of course, is a holiday, but on Tuesday, we're going over top annuity sales ideas at 2 p.m. And then later next week, on Thursday, a week from today, we're going over an awesome program on how to partner with CPAs to grow your business. That is the 28th at 2 p.m. We've seen some of the biggest cases this year actually be sent to the agent as a referral to CPA. So great way to kind of develop some new sales prospecting ideas is to partner with those CPAs.
Okay, good stuff, Joe. All right, so there you have it. You know, I look at this very seriously, and I've been talking to our agents for many years now, and as you know, it's our job to go out and provide, you know, the best products, the best tools and technology, the best staff and customer service. And we try to do as good as a job as possible. Okay. And I feel like we're at the top of our game. In fact, I don't know of another IMO that is close to us when you talk about straight up value add. Okay. And, you know, here's another training where we're giving you the tools, the social media platforms, the great products, okay, the technology behind it. We're here to help you. But your job comes in when it's time to record that 2-minute video on your smartphone and create your YouTube channel and your Facebook channel and start marketing. We're giving you everything at your fingertips. Now you have to come in, take the bull by the horns and give this stuff a shot. And not only give it a shot, but stay consistent and persistent day in and day out with your marketing efforts, and you're going to make the turn. I always look at it like, you know, concentrate on your day-to-day activity and picking up the phone and sending your emails with your network and your clients and your book of business. Yes, that's great and crucial, but also have the social media marketing side, have your videos running, have all of that in the background on autopilot. And what starts to happen is you're going to make the turn. And all of your marketing efforts start coming to, let's say, that water line. Right now, let's say it's under the water line and it's climbing every day and every month and every year. And then what happens is your day-to-day focus, right, reaches the halfway point. And then all your marketing efforts, your social media, your e-blasting, your CRM tools, your YouTube channel, slowly will start to meet that day-to-day operational line. And then all of a sudden, it's like you got two businesses combined into one, and you're off to the races, okay? So think about the left side, think about the right side. They both take effort, and you have to make sure you're constantly working day in and day out on both sides. They're ultimately going to meet, become one, and you are off to the races now and in the future. I promise you. Okay, but that's how you have to look at it to be successful, especially during a time like this. Okay, so that was great stuff. We're going to continue to do our job and make things bigger and better for you on the back end. With that said, I want to ask our question of the day. I hope your little fingers are on the keyboard and you are ready to rock and roll real quick. What is the name of the carrier, and what is the max amount of disability coverage you can get for the guaranteed issue disability product that we just rolled out? Okay, tell me the carrier name and the max benefit that you can get, guaranteed issue disability insurance coverage. Tell me the carrier name and the max benefit amount, and you win the new Fire tablet. Joe, do we have a winner?
Yes, we do. The winner is Timothy T. And I'll get you a state in 1 second.
Timothy T.
From Tennessee.
From Tennessee. Wow, that's 3 T's. I love it. Timothy T. from Tennessee. Okay, the answer was SureBridge, up to $500 a month, straight up guaranteed issue. You can even sell this on the direct-to-consumer site, Insure Me Now Direct, and still get paid 100% of the commission, plus the renewals when available. We'll end with our Positive Tuesday quote. Even though today's Thursday, do what you love what you do, and never work another day in your life. With that said, have a great rest of the week, a great Memorial Day weekend, good selling. Take care. Thank you again.